Today, Jewry faces one of the most terrible ordeals in its long history of persecution and martyrdom. Not since Titus destroyed Jerusalem in the year 70 and scattered the Jewish people over the face of the world has the future been so dark and tragic. The world crisis is also a crisis for world Jewry. One by one, the islands of safety, where the Jew has been an honored citizen, have been drowned in the storms and tidal waves of anti-Semitism. Until now, even in the Western countries, the lands of freedom and democracy, the Jew finds himself menaced once more by the ancient hates. Since Hitler began to wreck the peace of Europe, 6 million Jews have lost life, liberty, or the means to make a living. In Greater Germany, 750,000 despairing Jews have been driven back into the ghetto of the Dark Ages. More than 200,000 Jews have fled from Germany, seeking haven in the freer countries of Europe. German refugees escaped into Poland, only to find themselves once more under the Hitler heel. To them must be added the 3.25 million desperate Polish Jews. England, France, Belgium, Switzerland, Holland had been supporting refugee camps. But now those governments and peoples are facing a life and death struggle with Hitlerism. And the money that fed and housed and clothed these Jewish refugees must be spent on war.
I came from Germany last week, and I'm really very happy to be here, for it's very nice here. And I wish that all Jewish people in Germany would have such a life.
Their prayers and their thoughts turn to America, containing the only Jewish communities that can furnish the funds to save them from extinction.
We are here about 200 persons. We stay in Holland since a long time, and we hope to go someday in another country. A lot of us intend to go to Palestine and to begin there a new life in our homeland.
In flight from Europe, refugees have gone to the ends of the earth. In Shanghai, 15,000 wanderers, half-starved, homeless, sick, in daily fear of an epidemic, living in conditions made more dreadful by the fighting around Shanghai, are beseeching America for a hospital, medical services, and supplies to maintain life. In Cuba are 7,000 Jews on temporary visas, not allowed to work, tolerated in idleness by the government only as long as their needs are supplied by outside charity, and until they find permanent residence elsewhere. Hundreds of thousands of refugees scattered throughout the world, homeless, jobless, families broken up, depend on American Jewry to supply the means to live, and even the will to live. To these hundreds of thousands must be added the thousands of refugees already in the United States who look to us for similar support. From the desolate wastes of Palestine has arisen a homeland. Out of the sand, cities have grown. Out of the barren desert, fertile, blooming gardens and fields. The dead earth has been made to quicken with life. This great enterprise has been born out of the hopes, the aspirations, and the sacrifices of countless thousands of devoted Jews. new world war has added terrific economic strains. Labor and money intended for developing the country and giving security to its people are now being diverted to the war. 65,000 Jews have registered for war service. And should hostilities extend into the Mediterranean, the flower of Palestine youth will be fighting on the fields of Zion. If we give them the help they need when the day of peace once more blesses the earth, these will indeed be happy people in a happy land. There has arisen in this country a vast network of men dedicated to destroying American liberty, a host of would-be Hitlers, hoping to create in America the dark dictatorships of Europe.
If you ask what we are actively fighting for under our charter, I will here repeat the declaration I made public some time ago. First, a social just white Gentile who rules the United States. Second, Gentile-controlled labor union free from Jewish Moscow-directed domination.
In the name of Christianity, which abhors communism, in the name of patriotism, which loved America to carry it on to victory, I ask you if you will rise in your places and pledge with me to restore America to the Americans.
The purpose of this meeting, in effect, is to unite the power of Jews from coast to coast in an effort to force the present administration to compel Mr. Hitler to reinstate the refugees in Germany even at the cost of war. The disease started on the left. The antitoxin is on the right.
To meet the emergency at home and abroad requires huge financial outlay, not only every month, but every week. Day after day, appeals pour into. Money is needed not only to end the suffering, terror, and utter desolation of homeless men and women, to provide not only the necessities of life, but the means to build a new life in a new land. The opportunity to start anew with a new language, a new job, a new home in a land of promise, far removed from the eternal war plagues and pogroms of Europe. Not only as Jews, but as Americans, you are being asked this year to contribute not only to save the Jews of Europe from the dreadful results of the war and Hitlerism, but to save yourselves and all other Americans from the coming of Hitlerism to America. In Europe, there is a blackout of the humane and decent instincts of mankind. From America, the Statue of Liberty still sends its light around the world, a beacon of hope to suffering mankind. Share some of your blessings with the oppressed of the world. Give, that liberty may continue to shine forth for all Americans, and from America to all humanity.